Okay, in this video, let us try with another interesting problem which mostly asked in interviews. So let us solve this. Write a program to print max frequency occurring element of array of the given array without using inbuilt functions. Let us try, let us assume how to solve. Uh, Let us try to think how to solve this problem. For this, to assume, I'd like to open my notebook. So what the question is saying is they have given us an array. Let us say the array was 1, 2, 2, 3. So in this given array, what they are asking? They are asking us to find the max frequency occurring element, that is which element occurred more number of times in the given list, or you can say given array. Let us see. I have this array. So to find the most occurring frequency character, the most occurring frequency element, first what I need to do, I want to pick first element, that is 1, and I can iterate over my list and find the frequency. 1 occurred once, and then this is 2 not 1, so I don't increase my frequency. And this is 2 not 1, so I don't increase my frequency. This is 3 not 1, so I don't need to increase my frequency. So in the whole list, my 1 occurred how many times? Only once. So I'd like element and its frequency, or you can say count. Okay, now let us move on with second element. What is the second element? 2. I'm writing here, and let me analyze how many times this 2 occurred in the given list. So currently first element is 1. It is not our required element, so I don't need to put my count. So currently let me say my count is 0. And I came here, I see 2 occurred once, so I'd like to increase my count to 1. And then I found again 2, so I'd like to increase my count by 1 again, so it becomes 2. And now I found 3, it is not equals to 2, so that's why I don't like to improve my count. So next, I have taken 1 and found the frequency, and I have taken 2 and I found the frequency. And what is the next element? 2. So I'm taking again 2, and let me again find the frequency of 2. So it is nothing but 2 only, because we just previously did that count. So it again comes 2 only. So that's why I'm writing again the same thing 2. Now, what is the next element? 3. So let me take 3 and let me count the frequency of occurrences of 3. So initially I'll put it occurred 0 times. Now I got 1. So 1 is not equals to 3, right? So I don't need to improve my frequency. Next, 2 came. Is 2 equals to 3? No. So I don't need to improve my frequency. Next, 3 came. Sorry, 2 came again. Is 2 equal to 3? No. So I don't need to improve my count. Next, 3 came. So I just like to improve my count because the element and the 3 are equal. So that's where I like to increase my frequency. And finally, what I want to see is from the given, what are the frequency I got from the frequency, I'd like to see the max frequency occurrence. So 2 is the max frequency I found. That is, the element is 2. So what I want my output will be 2. So this is how the approach, this is what the approach I'd like to follow. This is nothing but logic analysis, or you can say approach analysis. This is one of the approach. So let us see how do I solve this by using Python. So how do I solve this by using Python? So to implement this, first what I need to do, first I want to pick one and check the frequency. Then I need to take two and I need to check the frequency. Then I need to take another two and check the frequency. Then I need to take three and need to check the frequency. So what I'm doing simply, I'm just doing this thing, that is, I'm just taking one by one element out from the array, whatever the list, or you can say whatever the array that we have, whatever the list that I have, from that list, I'm just picking one by one element. Let us say my list is stored in L variable. So from that list, I'm just picking one by one element. So I'm repeatedly picking all the elements from the given list. So whenever we encountered repeated statement, then we need to consider about loops. So I repeatedly picking elements in the given list. Whenever you encountered a statement that is repeatedly. So in that case, you can think of what you can think of. You can think of about loops. So what are the loops we have? We have for loop and while loop, which are supported, and many more in the Python. So now what I want to do, what is my specific need is I want to pick one by one element from the given list. So to do so, what I want is I just use a for loop for each element in given sequence. What is the sequence? I have list L. So I'm just taking that. So I'm getting now one by one element. I'm just want to print that element to check whether I'm getting one by one element or not. Simply taking the element up to that we have done. So let us try to run this code and test whether it works perfectly or not. So okay, first I'd like to read my L input. How do I read? By using input is the function which I would like to read a line. So to read a line, I must need to use input function. And how the inputs are separated? They are separated by using space. So to to separate them, to separate them individually and store in the form of list, so I need to use split function. By using this split function, I am separating these elements based on space. So based on space, these are separated and individually now up to mark how it will be is like strings. These elements are stored in the form of strings like 3, 4, 3 is a string, 4 is a string, 4 is another string, and 5 is another string. So in this format, these are stored. But what I'm actually expecting is I'd like to store integers in my list. So to store integers in my list, I just use a map function. Why this map function is used, sir? This map function is used to convert the given sequence, whatever the given sequence, that sequence is mapped to the function, whatever the function you have given. So how is, so whatever the function you have given, for that function, this, whatever the iterable or you can say sequence given, that is mapped. I'd like to map it to integer. So each and every value to integer. So I am using map function. After that, a map object is created, or you can say tuple is created. But what I need, sir, I need a list. So just I'm converting it into list and then printing each and every element. So let us run and check whether it is working correctly or not. So I'm providing input. You can see each and every element individually got printed here. So now I'd like to see the frequency as well, element and its frequency. So how to find the frequency, sir? So to find the frequency, we have, frequency is nothing but the number of times that element occurred in the given sequence, or you can say list. So how to find that frequency, sir? Do we have any inbuilt functions? Yes, we have count is an inbuilt function which we can able to use to find the frequency of the element. Sir, previously you said na, without using inbuilt functions, how can we solve the occurrences? How can we solve the problem? You asked the question, but now you are using an inbuilt function count, right? Yeah. Now let us start with inbuilt functions. Then again, let us, we only implement the code of without using inbuilt function also, we will try after this completion. By using inbuilt functions completion, we even try without using inbuilt function as well. So how to find the frequency by using inbuilt functions, sir? Count is a inbuilt function which is used to find the frequency of any element in the given sequence L. So how to find, sir? L dot count of that element. So that element count in the list will be provided by using this count function. So even you can run and check whether they are coming correctly or not. So 3, 4, 4, 5. So you can see how many times 3 was in the given list. Only once, right? So it just got printed. How many times 4 got in the list? It will be 2 times. So it just got printed. So, and again 4 came and 4 is present how many times in the given list? 2 times. So 2 is printed. Next 5 need to come and need to printed how many times? Only once, because it was present only once. So that's why it needs to print 1. So it got printed. In this way, we can find the count of the current element, or you can say frequency of the current element. Now, then after this, what do I need to do, sir? So after this, what I need to do is based on the frequency. Let me take my currently my max element is, let me assume, currently my max element is L of 0. So let us assume, just assume my current max occurring frequency element is this. So I just store it. And I'm just storing the frequency of that element as well. So I'm assuming first, initially, I am assuming that my first element occurred most frequently. I'm just assuming. Then again, based on the given input, we even modify. So just let me assume two things, that is my current max element is current max frequency element is first element, and its max frequency is L dot count of that max frequency element. That max frequency is, that means how many times this max frequency element occurred is max frequency. So I am just taking two variables. Max frequency element is first element, and it occurred a maximum number of times. So I am just storing it in the max frequency. It's just my assumption. So based on the given input, I would like to change the max frequency as well as the max occurring element. So currently at first time, you can see here, one occurred how many times? Once. So now you can see L of 0 is what? Currently my L of 0 is 1, and its frequency is also 1. So now what I want is, I want to check with each and every element's frequency, and I'd like to update my max frequency occurring element based on the frequency. So what I need, sir, I just need to find the max frequency occurring element. Here in this, 4 occurred twice. So I just need to print that element. To find that max occurring element, let me assume currently my max occurring frequency is first element, and I'm just storing like that. So now let me check with each and every element whether it occurred, whether it's it occurred more number of times than my current my max frequency element. So let me, what I have done previously, I am picking each and every element one by one, and I am finding the frequency. So now based on the frequency which occurred more number of times, that is the max element, right? I am assuming currently my max element is for first element. So let us compare the frequency of first element and second element as well. You can see first element frequency is less than second element's frequency. Now you can tell me what is the max frequency element, first element or second element? Second element, obviously, because 1 is less than 2. That means directly this element, that is 1, is occurred only once, whereas 2 occurred 2 times. So that's why we can say 2 is the max frequency element currently, and max frequency is what? Current 2 occurred how many times? 2 times. So that is the max frequency. You need to update in this way. Like, how do we update, sir? We are going through each and every element and its frequency. When you are updating, whenever my current element frequency whenever my current element frequency is greater than, current element is this, I'm taking one by one element, and then I'm checking whether 2 is greater than the current element frequency. Yeah, whether my current element frequency is greater than whatever the max frequency I am assuming, then what I need to do, sir? I need to update. Then what I need to do is, I just need to update. I need to I need to update my max frequency as, what is my max frequency now? Whatever the frequency that I found now, that is my max frequency. That is current element frequency is my max frequency. What is that? current element, whatever the current element do I am watching, that frequency. And do I need to update my max element or not, sir? Previously my max element is 1. Now 2 came, whenever 2 came, its frequency is 2. Since it occurred more number of times than 1, so do I need to update my max frequency element as 2? Yeah, I need to update my max frequency element as my current element. So that this is what I want to update and check each and every time whenever this condition satisfies. That is, currently checking elements frequency is greater than whatever I assuming max frequency. In that case, I need to update my max frequency as the current element frequency and my current max element as my max frequency element. So how to do this, sir? This is just done by using if. So how, sir? So to do this, if I need to write the condition. What is the condition, sir? This is the condition. That is, current element frequency. Current element frequency is greater than max element frequency. If current element frequency is greater than max element frequency, then what I need to do, sir? I just need to update two things. What are the two things? First thing is my frequency, and second thing is my frequency element. That is my frequency and my frequency element. Nothing but I'm updating my max frequency and max frequency elements. Frequency element is now just updated because currently my element currently my occurred element has more frequency than whatever the element that I'm assuming. So that's why I just like to update this thing. So and the current element frequency also I need to update. This is the only thing that I need to do. So let us do it here. So this is the thing just we are doing. So what is the current element here? My current element is ELE. So my current element is EL is the current element. Each and every time I am picking one by one element, right? So EL is the current element, and current element frequency. Current element frequency is what, sir? My current element frequency is L dot count of that element will provide me the current element frequency. Okay. So now so let me make it simple. Okay. Now we just return the condition for updating max frequency and max frequency element, but we are not initialized max frequency and max frequency elements. I'd like to initialize these two values as well. So initially I'm assuming my first element is the max frequency element, that is L of 0 as my max frequency element, and max frequency is L dot count of L of 0, or you can say uh, max frequency elements frequency is the max frequency. Now in final what I got is max frequency and max frequency element as well. If you want to see each and every time how it was updating, then you can use it inside the for loop so that you can see the max frequency element and max frequency as well. So let me run and check. You can see there is some indentation error in this line. So let us rectify it. So here it is getting. I hope, yeah, this got rectified. So let us try with this. So 3, 4, 4, and 5. So here you can see, I think I'm printing 2 times. I just like to print only once. Max frequency element and its count. Currently my element is, what is the LE? That is my element, and my frequency is L dot count of that element is my frequency. So after that, I would like to printing the max frequency element and its max frequency. So let me run and check. 3, 4, 4, and 5 are providing the inputs. So let us see. First, I'm taking the first element and my frequency is 1. So currently I'm assuming it has a max element and its frequency. It has max frequency. Now, after that, I encountered 4 as my element and it occurs twice. So you can tell me this frequency is greater than 3's frequency? Yeah. 4 element 4 frequency is greater than 3 frequency. That is 1 is less than 2. So that's why now I want to update my max element as 4 and its frequency as 2. It got updated or not, you can check here. So here you can see the max frequency element is 4 and its frequency is 2. Here you can check. So by using this condition, we are updating the max frequency element and then max frequency as well. Then further you can move also, currently element becomes 4 and max frequency is 2. So again, it doesn't change because frequencies are same. So don't need to change again the element. And then next element is 5. Its frequency is 1. So it occurred less number of times. So I don't need to change the current max element. So again, the current max element is 4 only. So after that, finally, if you want to print the max frequency element at the end, you can even print that max frequency element here. After finishing of our loop, I'd like to print max frequency element. So if you run this, then you got exactly whatever the code you have written. So 4 occurred 2 times. So let us try with another input case. 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 4. So here 1 occurred more number of times. So 1 is the output. So let us try with another 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. So here 2 occurred more number of times. So 2 is the output. Okay. We have done by using an inbuilt function count. So let us see without using count function. Sir, how to find the count of any element. For this, let us see how to find the count of any element. Or you can say how many times my current element occurred. So to see that, just I'm erasing this. Currently my list is this. I'd like to have an element that is 1 and I want to find the frequency. I want to find the frequency of the element in given list. So given list, let it will be L. So in L, how many times my element occurred? I want to count that. So how to count this, sir? To count this, just I need to move on through entire list. I want to pick one by one element and just check whether my element, whether the given element and the current picked element are equal or not. If they are equal, I'd like to increase my count, or you can say frequency. I want to find the frequency of current element, current given element. So initially I haven't gone through my list. So I'm just assuming my element hasn't occurred once in my list. Now I'd like to move on through each and every element and check whether that element equals to my given element. So first element is what? 1. So is 1 equals to 1? 1. Yeah, it is true. So that's why, since it is true, I'd like to increase my frequency by 1. Current frequency, whatever the frequency I have, I want to increase it by 1. So what is the current frequency? 0. I want to increase it by 1. So what it become? 1. So next, it will go for this element. So is 2 double equals to 1? So I'm just thinking, is 2 double equals to 1? It is not true, that is false. So I don't want to increase anything. My frequency of 1, I don't want to increase. Next, I want to pick another element. Next element, that is 2. Is 2 double equals to 1? Is 2 double equals to 1? It is again false statement. So I just do not need to update anything of my frequency. So next, I want to pick the next element. What is the next element? 3. So is 3 double equals to 1? It is even false again. So I don't want to update anything. Next element is what? 1. So is 1 double equals to 1? 1 double equals to 1. Yeah, it's true, right? So I just want to again improve my frequency by current frequency. So what I want to do is I just want to improve my current frequency by 1. So what is the current frequency now? It is 1, previously updated to 1. So I want to increase it by 1 more again. So it will become 2. Next, I want to move to next element. What it is? 1. So 1 double equals to 1. Is it true? Yeah. So 1 double equals to 1. Since this is true, I'd like to update my frequency again by 1. So to update my frequency again by 1, what is the previous frequency? 2. So I'm again updating it with 1. So it will become 3. So 3 is the finalized frequency and there is no elements left. So my given elements frequency is what? 3. So my given element frequency is what? 3 is my frequency. I would like to print it. That's it. This is the thing that I want to do now. So now let us see how to implement this. To implement this, simply assume this. So what I'm doing here, I'm just picking one by one element from the given list. To do so, we are just repeating the same thing, that is picking one by one element from the given sequence. So to do so, we are repeatedly doing the same thing, that is picking. So since whenever you encountered repeating, you need to go for loops. For picking one by one element from the given list, you need to use the for loop for each and every element. Since element is stored in ELE, I'd like to use another variable, current element, CURELE. Each current element in or you can say for each element in, I have put an underscore here, each element in L. So I'm just taking each element in L. So what I want to do, I want to compare it with 1. If each element is double equals to what I'm comparing with the given elements ELE, the given element ELE. If they are equal, then what I'm doing? I'm just improving my frequency by 1. With the previous frequency, whatever the previous frequency I have, just I'm improving by 1. That's it. And finally, what I'm doing, I'm just printing. For print, you can print the FREQ frequency, or else if you want to return, you can return it as, you can return the frequency. So I just want to print here, so I'm printing. So this is the code to find the frequency of the given element. I think this FREQ initialization is not coming in this. So let us write in the code. First, let me take my frequency as 0 here. Before initializing to current element frequency, I want to initialize a frequency as 0. Now, by using for loop, I want to iterate over each and every element. Each element in my list, so I want to iterate and check whether each element is equals to my current element. Then what I want to do, I just need to increase my frequency by 1. That's it. I just want to increase my frequency by 1. That's it. After that, I got my frequency. That frequency, what I need to do? I need to assign it here. That's it. Hash represents comment. It doesn't execute. So I'm just assigning frequency here. That's it. Now we are not using count function. Even we can erase this. Instead, we can use these statements to get the frequency. So now you can run and check with the inputs, whatever the different inputs you want to provide. So 3, 4, 4, 5. I want to provide. 4 occurred, max frequency occurrence element in the given list. So in this way, you can solve a bit by bit problem in Python by using data structures. This is one of the commonly asked example in interviews as well as in exams as well. So try to write the code by using thinking, and then if you got stuck at any point, then please try to watch the video so that you got an idea of how to solve the problem. I think this video is understandable to you. I'll provide the whole thing in description or else in first comment. If any doubts, please comment, or else if you like the video, comment your feeling. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest update. Thank you again. Please practice.